YouTube? I'm Siobhan Young, and this is my third YouTube video ever. 3, yes. That is actually my universal number. It's not my lucky number, it is my universal number because it keeps popping up everywhere. And I am actually glad that this is the video where I will be telling you about my favorite holiday, Halloween, and why I love it so much, and my favorite color, orange. And I hope to keep this as direct and short as possible, but at the same time, this will be probably a long video. I'm sorry about that right now, but I am going to be that descriptive, and that is just me. So, here we go. I am gonna start this off by starting at the beginning, which is actually has to do with if you were here for my last video, I talked about 2 of my costumes that I wore that had masks, which was a pink kitty and a Barbie Princess Kitty costume. And the irony is both of those costumes actually do contribute to my love of Halloween. And the first one is when I was 5 and I was asked what did I want to be for Halloween. I actually didn't know what I wanted to be till I don't know how close to Halloween, but I know it was close enough to where I could not find the costume that I wanted to wear that year. Which, that costume that I actually wanted to wear was a pumpkin. And I was sad, I was a little mad because I wanted to be a pumpkin. Why can't I be a pumpkin? Why can't we find pumpkin costumes? And my mom said, I'm sorry, we can't find a pumpkin costume, but maybe we can do it next year? And in my angry state, that just made me lit up happy. I'm like, yes, we will do it next year. Yay! And that year, my mom actually said, we can't find any pumpkin costumes, we can do it next year, but how about a kitty? And I said, yeah, that would be cool. So I wore that, and the thing is, the year later, I had completely forgotten I wanted to be a pumpkin at all. I have since actually wrote down my list of Halloween costumes I have been for throughout my life, but I cannot remember off the top of my head right now what costume I wore when I was 6. But I know it was not a pumpkin. And I wanted to be a pumpkin when I was 5, and I didn't get to be it till I was 23. Yeah, I waited that long to finally be a pumpkin for Halloween. Actually, I was either 23 or 24. Like I said, I cannot name it off the top of my head. I can name 25 because that was a year ago. And I can name what I'm going to be for 26. I finally got my costume today. Yes! So, I may tell you, I may not. I don't know. But, back to the story. I had wanted to be a pumpkin and couldn't. And that both contributes to why I love Halloween and why I love orange, but more on that later. The main reason why I love Halloween so much and why I'm insistent on loving Halloween is actually, I have to skip 5 years later to when I was 10. And that year, remember when I said there was going to be irony, or the reason why I love Halloween is because of both of my kitty costumes? That year, when I was 10 in 2003, I'm so used to saying 2005 for some reason. Not a lot happened that year, it's just I think 2005. Anyway, 2003, in October, I was actually not in my home. Or at least, I was not with my mom. I was with a foster mom. I had been taken away by Child Protective Services that year because of various things that my dad was doing that I will say about him in another video. It's not that I don't want to talk about it, it's that it's a story unto itself. But he was abusive, and he also was a narcissistic, manipulative idiot who would not listen to me when I needed protection from this other person that was doing me harm. And because he wouldn't listen to me, I was really traumatized by this other person. But in this one instance, when I was 10, I was at recess talking about what was happening with this other person to a friend of mine because my ADHD brain, I guess you could say, or just my brain in general, was in that moment bored and wanted to talk about something. So I talked about something that was happening to me at home, and my teacher overheard. And because my teacher overheard, she as an adult knew that what was going on was wrong. And she pulled me into the principal's office after hearing me say this to my friend. And I had to repeat the story to the principal. And a couple days later, Child Protective was called, and I was taken from the family and put in a foster home. And the thing is, that actually traumatized me even more to be away from my mom, specifically, not my dad, but my mom. And the thing is, before that, I had been under the assumption that everybody and their mother literally celebrated Halloween. I thought the whole world celebrated Halloween on the 31st, everybody dresses up, all fun and games. But that year, I was given to a foster mom who did not celebrate Halloween. She was the first person I had ever met who didn't celebrate Halloween. And I, at age 10, could not understand why I was not allowed to wear a costume. Or why she wouldn't let me get my Barbie Princess Kitty, because I had it all picked out. I had everything together, and she wouldn't let me wear that costume. I asked her, could I get another costume, and she said no. And I was in a situation of, I don't know what's going on here. Why am I not being allowed to wear this costume? Why can't I have another costume? Why? What's the big deal? I need to wear a costume for Halloween. Why are you not letting me? And I I got it into my head, you have to wear a costume on Halloween, or else you're not celebrating Halloween. And I desperately looked around for anything that I could use for a costume. And I came up with a brilliant plan that I am so proud of to this day. Because what I did was I took sneakers, jeans, and a hoodie to create the most incognito costume ever. It was a costume to me, but nobody else could see that it was a costume. And what was I? At age 10, for Halloween, I dressed up as a teenager. Seriously, a teenager. Because that's what I had. I had sneakers, not this fancy, but I had sneakers like this with the sole. I had jeans, and I had a sweater with a hoodie. Looking like a teenager. I did not have the hoodie on at all that night, but I had the zipper zipped up intentionally because I knew at some point I would accidentally take the sweater off and put it down somewhere, and I'm like, no, this is my costume. I'm determined to wear this thing all night. Thankfully, that night was not too hot and not too cold. I could wear it all night long and not have a care in the world. It was all good. And this is not the costume that I wore. This is a representation of that costume. And I actually had silver, or it was more grayish. And over the years, I started to call that teenager costume the rebellious teenager costume. Because I was rebelling against the fact that I was not allowed to wear a costume that year. And just rebelling against her, basically. That foster mom who told me no. And I'm like, you know what? No. You are not telling me I cannot wear a costume. I am wearing a costume. No matter what you say. And to be honest, it's made me appreciate those who wear regular clothes as a costume. Like, if they want to go as if someone wants to go as Robert Downey Jr. and just wear his outfits that he usually wears, okay. If you want to go as random people who are just who literally always wear regular clothing, more power to you. Because you know what? I had to do that. I was forced to, but I don't care if you're not being forced to wear a costume that just looks like a regular, everyday outfit. If you choose to wear a costume like this, more power to you. Because I love people going against the system. Yes! Anyway, because I was not allowed to wear a costume when I was 10, I made it my life's mission to always basically make up for that one Halloween where I was not allowed to wear a costume, and I did for myself. It wasn't my costume, and when I remember forever that when I was 11, I actually wore the Princess Kitty costume. I had it all set up. I wore it the next year. And I am proud of that. And I am so proud that at age 10, I thought to create my own costume, even though she wasn't letting me. Age 10! Way to go, Siobhan. Way to go. And anytime we were dressing up for school, I would dress up. Anytime there was Halloween, I would make it a big deal to find out what I wanted to be for Halloween. And sometimes I even know what my costume is a year before. That is how much I love Halloween. That and the fact that I forgot that I had never worn, the fact that I found out that I had never actually really worn masks for Halloween, like I said in my last video, that contributed to my reason of loving Halloween. And my love of Halloween does contribute to my love of the color orange. It is not the main reason, it is the first reason, if that makes sense. Especially since pumpkins actually haunt me all the time. Like, what I mean is, anytime I see pumpkins, I just flock to the pumpkins. And yet, I have never carved a pumpkin in my life. I don't know if I want to, actually, carve a pumpkin. Me and knives does not sound like a good thing. I've been in ceramics class. I'm okay with it. It's just more on that another video, maybe. But I love pumpkins, and that does have to do with the first costume where I wanted to be a pumpkin, but I wasn't. So my brain subconsciously became very obsessed with pumpkins, especially the year that I realized I had skipped being the pumpkin, and I was 23 when I finally was a pumpkin. I had already chosen my costume for that year too, but I found the pumpkin, so I made a decision. I'm buying that costume, and I'm wearing it the next year when I'm 24. So, I wore it. So, I was 23 when I wore the costume, but I was 22 when I found it. Okay. Correction, sorry. And onward with the color. When I was younger, I believe it could be before or after the pumpkin year when I was 5, I, for the first time in my life, saw the state flower of the California poppy, and I automatically was attracted to the color orange, and I had actually, that's not what made me realize I love orange, but when I saw it, I thought, that's a pretty flower. It would be my favorite flower, but the petals are a little strange to me. And the very next thought I had was, wait, what is my favorite flower? Wait, what is my favorite anything? I had no idea what my favorite color was, my favorite movie, my favorite anything at this moment in my life. And throughout my all 26 years of my life, I have been in search of what in the universe is my favorite movie to watch when I'm sad, my favorite movie period, my favorite color, my favorite thing to eat. Well, no, I'm still kind of, my mom's corned beef and cabbage is my favorite thing to eat, so that's always been pinned in that forever. No, wait, not pinned. That is steak in the ground. That is my favorite thing in the universe to eat. And but I've been obsessed with that, and the answer to what my favorite color is did not come to me till last year, 2018. Or it could have been the end of 2017. It's very fuzzy, but I finally figured it out, and I am adamant. Orange is my favorite color. I am not giving this up for anything. And one of the main reasons is I realized that anytime I have highlighter color, the color that I have to use for importance, do it now, is always orange. Bright orange. I have to use orange for the most important things that are happening now. I can use any other color in the universe for everything else, but for most important things it has to be orange, because my brain is attracted to that color. It's like a moth to a flame. And I know it's because I love bright neon colors, specifically because I will admit this, I love the 80s, and I was born in 1993, and the 80s happened 4 years before I was born, and I am so sad that I missed the 80s by 4 years. And yes, 1993, for those of you who are thinking, why is that 4 years, don't you mean 3? Remember, 1990 is still a year. So because of 1990, that adds a year to this count. I missed it by 4 years. And I grew up with a bunch of 80s movies with the poofy sleeves and neon colors, and I literally, it took me years to realize I never lived in the 80s. My heart actually broke when I found that out. Because I grew up on Labyrinth. I grew up on... Okay, I can't remember all the other movies, but I just remember the poofy sleeve from Labyrinth specifically. And I love the neon of the 80s so freaking much. And the hair, oh my gosh. My hair is usually frizzy and poofy, and I would fit into that decade. Seriously. And the catalysts for what made me realize that I love orange so much is because I finally realized that orange is not only a Halloween color. I know that sounds weird, but I always thought that growing up, of course, I got into the stereotypical idea that Halloween should only be celebrated once a year, and I had no idea that I was allowed to love orange outside of Halloween, or that I was allowed to have candy corn outside of Halloween. Candy corn is my favorite candy, but it took me years to realize that because it's only a Halloween candy. Only during Halloween. And I thought the same thing about orange. I didn't know that, but subconsciously I thought orange, Halloween only, nothing else. And after I finally accepted that, I also found out within the last year that 1, ADHD Awareness Month is October, and 2, I realized the awareness color for ADHD is orange, and I also recently found out that it is the awareness color for shooting victims. And I'm not sure if this is this story that I'm about to say is the reason why, but I think a week after I finally figured out orange is my favorite color, many of you may remember the Parkland shooting that happened last year, and there was a specific victim. She was a fellow dancer named Jamie Gutenberg, and her favorite color was orange, just like me. She was a dancer, and her favorite color is orange. And I never met her, but I feel such a kinship with Jamie because she is a dancer. I know she passed away, but she didn't change before she died. I like saying it's for people that passed away, even though they're not here anymore. And her favorite color is orange. I wear orange stuff not only for ADHD awareness, but for awareness of shootings, and I wear it in honor of Jamie. Every time I wear orange. And I wish I had known you. And I don't know what else to say to that. You are a good soul, and I'll never forget you, even though I never met you. And that's why I love Halloween and why I love orange. And actually another reason is because Hocus Pocus, it was made the year I was born. It was made the month I was born also. July 18th. 1993, look it up. Okay, I might have gotten the day, the 18th wrong. I forget the day. But, in the movie, when Winifred asks Max's little sister, what year is it? And she says, in a scared voice, 1993? I had thought that movie was weird and strange when I was younger, and then in 6th grade I was watching it in PE, and my ears perked up when that was said, and I'm like, yes. Wait, I said, wait, 1993, what? So I looked it up. Yes, it was made in 1993, and that just made me love it even more. That and the movie Halloween Town both contributed to that. So I know that my time is actually going to be up on my recording device, so I'm going to say goodbye to you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. I forgot to say that in the last video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for sticking around with this long video. So hope you have a good day. Happy Halloween, and remember, you can wear regular clothes and it can still be a costume. Thank you. Bye.